Hi, it's Trevor Bragdon with 7-Figure Fundraising. Today's 5-minute fundraising tip is the 8 parts to a great donor pitch. So in our 7-Figure Fundraising workshop, we lay out all the steps to create a really compelling donor pitch. And one of the templates we use is this 8-part donor pitch. So I'm going to lay this out for you and how you can go about building your own donor pitch using this template. Well, the best pitches we've found start by having the first part, which is a thank you, where you want to thank the donor for meeting with you, and if they've given before, you want to thank them for their previous gift, and then if they're a prospect, you want to thank them just for meeting with you. And then you want to transition to the next part, the mission. This is where you want to clearly explain the mission of your organization. And the key here is to tell it in language that you would use with a good friend, like you'd talk about over coffee. Then you want to go right in from the mission to the need. You want to lay out the need and why your organization exists. So this is a great place to build in a story about your nonprofit. This could be a story about your founding, like that origin story of your organization, or it could be a story of someone in need that your organization is positioned to help. Then, from the need, you transition into the plans for today. And you want to tell the donor the big things you're working on right now. So this could be a place where you talk about, like, here's the big 3 things or the big 2 things we're working on right now. After you lay out those details, you want to talk about the impact that you're having. So because of the work we're doing right now, those plans for right now, here's the impact we're having. And this is another great place to incorporate a story in your pitch. So a lot of times we tell our students to pick their favorite story from the last 6 months. You know, just a story that really exemplifies that work you're doing and the impact you're having on the world. After you talk about the impact, you want to transition to the future and talk about your plans for the future and how you'll even have an even greater impact on the future if you hit these key goals. And you want to lay out between 2 to 4 goals that are on your horizon. Now, this could be, it depends on your organization. This could be from 18 months all the way to like 36 months on how long you look into the future. And then you want to end on a high note. So you transition into the hope. And this is all about a story about an individual or a group who's going to have a more hopeful future because you and the donor partner together to make that donation and then have and be able to execute that vision for the future. And then the final part is, of course, the ask. You want to ask the donor for a donation. And if this is a renewing donor, you want to ask for a specific amount. And then if this is a prospect donor who has never given before, you want to ask for a range. And you want to use that elevator pitch that we've talked about in previous videos. And what you'll notice here as you're looking at this pitch template is you keep going back and forth between execution, the plans for today, the plans for the future, and then over to emotion. And you're going back and forth between those two. And what you're doing is you're laying out a compelling case. You're making the emotional appeal of why this work is so necessary, but then you're also backing it up with proof that you know how to execute and get this job done. So I'd encourage you, try this template out. And if you want to learn more, I'd encourage you to join our 7-Figure Fundraising workshop. We spend a whole bunch of time working through and helping you create your own 7-figure fundraising pitch. And then you can even get one-on-one coaching with us where we go through your pitch and help you outline and help you improve that pitch so you're ready to sit down with a donor. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next week.